Hi there, I'm Colin Lamb, aka the Tone Wizard, and I hope you're doing very well wherever you may happen to be. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. I'm doing great. I had a fantastic morning with my little son and my wife. The weather was cool enough this morning that we got to get out and enjoy ourselves and have a nice little walk around. At any rate, before I get into this video, I just want to thank some new subscribers to the channel. Thank you very much, Charlie Nelson, Luminous Brilliance, Fizzle Cleasy, The Insomniac 100, Michael Ivor, C Vega 124, and Justice Lindley. I think my favorite username in that bunch would be Justice Lindley. I know a guy named Lindley. Maybe it's him. If it is you, how you doing, man? Anyways, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments about this video or a future video. And yeah, thank you very much. If you're new to my channel, check out some of my stuff, my other videos. I cover a lot of crap. Subscribe if you feel like it. Like if you feel like it. Don't if you don't. But anyways, let's get into this video, which is going to be about the recent concert that happened in Red Rocks, California. Red Rocks, Colorado, and it was the South Park 25th anniversary concert featuring Ween and Primus. I heard about this quite a while ago. I considered trying to get into the ticket lottery, but then I was like, no, I respect myself too much for that kind of stress and bullshit. And also, like, I'm a real big Ween fan. I'm kind of into Primus, and I'm passingly into South Park. I do appreciate South Park a lot and what those guys have done. I saw the Book of Mormon, and it was fantastic, but not something I was really interested in going to. If I was going to go down for a show, I would go down for a Ween show, but not for like a shared kind of thing. So I was fortunately able to check out this thing online. The South Park guys put this up for free on their website. Now, if you're not in the States, I don't know if you'll be able to watch it, but hypothetically, you could use a VPN service to change your VPN hypothetically, and then you could hypothetically watch it for free. So I hypothetically encourage everybody to watch it at any rate, however you choose to do so. So yeah, when I heard about this, I was excited because there are three things that I at the very least, I'm interested in or respect. South Park is not something I have watched. I did watch it when it first came around. It was the one thing that we were forbidden to watch. We could watch all kinds of violent movies. I used to stay up late by myself and watch the Showcase review years ago on cable. But South Park was something that my stepdaddy refused to let me watch, and it just intrigued me to watch it even more. And I remember the first time I ever saw South Park was on my, I want to say, 13th birthday. I had a group of friends over, and we were down in the basement, and we stayed up much later than we were supposed to. And we watched South Park, and the episode I do remember was the one where Saddam Hussein has the crazy satellite thing all the way up his ass. And I remember watching that and thinking it was hilarious. And then I caught a few more episodes. I think I watched the one where they did the Kyle's mom's a big fat bitch. I remember the Canadian guys, what the fuck are they called? Those Terrence and Phillip. And I remember never being offended about that because our heads do split in half when we talk. It's common knowledge up here north of the border. At any rate, I was excited to check this out, and I did. So I just thought I'd give my take on it and a little rundown of what happened. And please let me know your thoughts as we go along here if you've watched it as well. Or if you were at the concert, please get in touch with me via my socials and tell me what you thought of the concert. I'd love to have somebody on to do an interview and talk about it because that's what I do on this channel. I talk about shit I like. At any rate, at the beginning of the show, they alluded to the fact that there may have been a first night or a second night or something. And I will say that when I watched this through, I had previously consulted the set list that they have, and I'll put a link to that. And I noticed that Ween and Primus both played kind of their greatest hits, but not all of them made it into the video that the South Park guys put up onto the website there. However, there is a channel called Stallion Mang that you can check out, and I'm pretty sure he's uploaded most of the live Ween stuffs, and I think he's another Canadian guy, so kudos to him. But I'll put a link to his channel, and you can go look for that as well. But anyways, Primus opened up the show, and I believe it was a Ween and Primus kind of intro that they'd conglomerated for, or they'd done together. And at one point, the Primus guy, the Primus guy. I mean, he is the fucking Primus guy right now. Without consulting Google, name the other two guys in Primus. If you can, good for you. But I certainly couldn't. Even though I do like them quite a bit, especially the guitar player, I find quite tasty. But anyways, Les Claypool said, I still have a floater from last night. I'm not too sure what he was getting at there. If there was a night before or a night after. If there were 2 nights and you were a ticket holder who was in the ticket lottery, I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty pissed off about that. I don't know what happened there, but let me know in the comments. And Les Claypool said, in any event, I still have a floater because that is Gene Ween over there. And it most certainly was Gene Ween on stage. And they to set the stage, they kind of had Primus on one side and Ween on the other side. The 2 drummers set up kind of in between. And then you had an area where Trey's grand piano was set up, and then an area where Matt Stone was singing beside him and playing various instruments, which we'll get to in a bit. But anyways, that was pretty cool. And then they projected, as an intro, they projected the South Park kids up onto the rock walls of the canyon, which I thought was very cool as well. Now, before they began... or as they began, Terrence and Philip, my compatriots, my dear countrymen, came on the screen, and that was kind of neat. And they gave a very heartfelt rendition of Uncle Fucker, which I did quite enjoy. Up next, they played Montage, which was cool because we had trading solos from everyone, from Larry Lamont. My writing is so fucking bad, and like I said, I can never remember the other guy's names in Primus. But from and I'm gonna get butchered in the comments, but from the Primus guitar player, from Mr. Dean Ween, and then also from Bruce Howell. And at one point, I believe it was Trey said, and on guitar, Bruce Howell. And I was like, who the fuck is Bruce Howell? He looked pretty rad. He looked like he could have been in one of those 80s prog bands or 80s hair metal bands. And so I looked him up, and it turns out he's the composer and musical the musical director, you might call him, from South Park and the Team America movie. So that was kind of cool, and he was fucking shredding away. And so that was great. They played a song called Jackin' It in San Diego after that, which I just found to be fucking hilarious. I'd never heard that or seen the episode that was from, and I fucking loved it. Up next, they did the Mr. Mackey little song, which was Okay, everybody. I'll always remember that guy. I kind of had a lot of flashbacks because, like I say, as an adult, I haven't really been watching a lot of South Park, so it was fun to see that. Up next, they started telling the story of how Primus and the South Park guys kind of got together. And so basically what happened was, I believe Matt was a big admirer of the band Primus, and they produced their I'm not too sure, and I'm not a big South Park fan, but I believe they made a short kind of film, or maybe it was the trailer to South Park, I can't remember, but it was called The Spirit of Christmas, and they sent that to the Primus guys and asked them to do a theme song for their show, was the gist of the story that I got there. And they had $74 to spend. That's watch my head split in half as I say this, but that's like $90 Canadian or something in this goddamn economy. At any rate, he talked about how they sent that. The Primus guys really liked what they'd sent, so they recorded the theme to South Park, the original one that we all knew. But the network guys thought it was too slow, so they had to write back to Primus and be like, it's too slow. And the Primus guys are like, $74, that's what you're getting. And then they sped up the theme to sound like what it is. And I believe Les Claypool was nice enough to re-record his vocals to match the new speed of it. So that was pretty cool. And years later, they did an updated version when the South Park crew went into grade 4. So I thought that was cool to hear that little story. And I also will say that when the South Park guys came out, I thought I saw quite a bit of emotion in Trey's face. And those guys have done it all. I mean, the Team America movie, the Book of Mormon, which I've seen, which was fucking awesome. In terms of comedy, I don't know if they quite get their due on a wide scale, but one thing I fucking love about those guys is that they're unapologetic in what they do. You see so many people get taken down by social media and social justice warriors or whatever. They never seem to fall victim of that because they're not apologetic, and they don't try to present themselves as philanthropists or philosophers or anything like that. They do what they do. If you think it's funny, you like it, fine. If not, you can fuck off. And I think there's a real lesson in there about censorship. You always hear comedians battling against censorship and battling against Twitter mobs and all this sort of thing. Well, don't fucking battle with them. Let them. It's not a battle if you're not in it. If they're just running their mouth about what they do and they don't like it, eventually they'll just stop paying attention to you. So I think there is a lesson in there, and I really respect the South Park guys. And on another level, I really respect Ween for doing that, because Ween does some shit in their shows that could land them into hot water in the modern social scape of things. But also, it is another message about art in general. If it's fucking good, it's fucking good. Right? It doesn't matter what people say. If you've got people showing up to buy tickets to watch you do what you do and they love it, it doesn't fucking matter what anybody says about it. And they're just shitting on a good time. Anyways, let's move on from that. The Butters song, actually, the South Park, after the South Park theme, they got into Butters song, which I thought was pretty funny. And I saw that Matt was playing on a ukulele. And I will just say that throughout the entire show, they both play, well, I guess Trey mainly played the grand piano, and he played it very well, I have to say. But the other guy, Matt, he switched between ukulele, guitar, bass, and I think he had some big cymbals at one time. But fuck, man, talk about talented guys. I always think about the guy, I think it's Donald Glover is his name. And I remember seeing him on Community, and I thought, oh, that's a funny guy. Then I saw some of his stand-up, and I was like, that's a really funny guy. And then I learned that he was a writer on 30 Rock, which was a show that I loved. And then I saw him do the show Atlanta, which I really loved. And this might not be chronological, but then he put out an album of music that I really fucking enjoyed. And these South Park guys are kind of in that mold as well. They're very talented, but I think that's something that's really rare, where you just have an idea. You have ideas that you want to execute, and you manage to do it by, putting the right people in place to help you do it, and by pursuing what makes you happy in the art that you want to see. That's my read on those guys anyways. And they owe me a fucking check, because I'm really giving them a free tug job here. I normally probably wouldn't do a gesture like that, but I just watched the entire South Park show. So there you go. Anyways, moving along, they did Blame Canada, and that always gets me a little bit. It's just, as a Canadian, it's nice to see us anywhere. Even if it's like a mass murder or something, like, oh, he was a Canadian now. Well, there we are. We're still in it, folks. No, but after that, Blame Canada. There was a little Rush appearance, the Rush cartoons, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. I am a Rush fan. I saw them live years ago, and it was fucking fantastic. It changed my idea about what music was and about what they were. I kind of wasn't into Rush until I saw them live. But Alex Lifeson is a fucking amazing, tasteful guitar player. Geddy Lee is a wonderful musician, and of course the late Neil Peart was a fantastic drummer, and I actually spent a weekend in his house years ago. I was acquainted with his house sitter. Let's just say that. I played his bongos. They were there. Anyways, sidetrack. The Rush guys came out and actually played Closer to the Heart with Matt Stone, which I understand was a bit of a surprise to him. Although I will say he played the song very well. I assume he played it a lot. But he hopped on another instrument and played the drums. It was fantastic. Now, moving along from there, we have a section in my notes that I cannot fucking read. So, I don't know what the. Oh, I know what it was. It's mumbled because it was garbage. They did a song, the South Park guys, that was Joe Biden took my job. So as Joe Biden took her job, that was the sort of jab, and it was hilarious because at one point they had a little girl in the crowd come up, and Trey was asking her, "Did Joe Biden take your job?" And she looked pretty shocked, obviously, and a little bit afraid, but eventually she said, "Joe Biden took my job," and it was pretty precious. You should check that out. Now, moving along, the Ween songs that were included in the video up on their website, one of them was the Mollusk, the other was Buckingham Green, and it was really cool to see them play Buckingham Green because the guys from Rush and South Park were sitting in lawn chairs on the stage glancing over, and when Diener was going full bend over, right? Don't let the guitar cover your dick style. The Rush guitar player, Alex Lifeson, was looking on quite eagerly and looking pretty happy about what he was seeing. So that was definitely cool. The Cat song with Primus was hilarious. I'd never heard that before. It was fucking funny. Also worth pointing out was a segment that made me chuckle, maybe more than it should have. If you know what it is, you know what it is. Watch it if you don't. I'm not really going to describe it, but it was just the Lemmy Winks segment. You should just check that out. They did a very nice version of Kyle's Mom is a Big Fat Bitch, and they had some background singers that brought it to a new level, I thought. So that was great. And that's pretty much where it ended. They did Team America as a kind of encore thing. But at any rate, you can check out what the full set list was. If you were at the show, please get in touch with me in the comments. And if you'd like to come on and discuss your experience at the show, please let me know. My closing thoughts on this thing were, well, if you were a South Park fan going to the show, you would have been happy with it by any metric. If you were a Primus fan going to the show, I think you would have been very happy to be at the show, because Les Claypool was kind of the onstage kind of director and band leader of everyone. If you're a Ween fan, I think you would have been happy, because I think there were moments where it looked like where Giner and Diener were singing background vocals in various costumes, and I think Giner looked like he was into it. Diener, I think, was having a great time, and I think you would have been happy with that. Now, I think there's also a lot of cross interest in all those three things over the years, because Ween and Primus have kind of had a hand in South Park here and there. So I think you would have been happy. If I would have went, I think, looking at it now in hindsight, I would have been very happy to have been there. I'm not overly upset that I wasn't there, and I'm glad they put it up for free on their website. So that is my kind of review and reaction, or whatever you want to call it, to the 25th anniversary South Park show with Primus and Ween. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you feel like it. And at the very least, take good care of yourself, because nobody else will. And let me tell you something about life, people. Life can be a turgid stream of rapidly flowing water cascading over sharp rocks. The kind of rocks where you step into some water and you think it's going to be a nice time, but the rocks are sharp and your bare foot is cut. Now you've got a cut foot. And maybe you get swept away in the current, okay? You're swept downstream and you wash ashore. People always wash gently ashore and wake up after they've been sucked into rapids. But now you're bleeding, and you're going to be attracting all kind, not just bacteria, you're going to be attracting large land predators. We're talking about a grizzled bear, a grizzly bear. A grizzled bear is going to be tracking you, and you have maybe 4 or 5 hours to survive until help comes looking for you, because your friends are fucking wasted back there on the shore. They have not been doing a head count. People are not like, there's no buddy system going on. You're just off in the fucking forest now with an open wound, and you're in grizzle bear country. And these grizzles, they've got a nose for blood, and now they're bearing down on you, and no one's coming to help you. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you'll wish you would have taken care of yourself.